Hi, and welcome to Untethered with Jen Liss, the podcast that's here to help you free yourself from the crap that's holding you back so you can claim the life you're meant to live. I'm your host, Jen, and in this episode, we are going to talk about getting untethered with breathwork. Let's dive in. Hi, friends, it's Jen. Been having so many cool conversations out of this Untethered Practices series that we've been doing. So I'm recording this breathwork episode after the acupuncture episode came out the other day on Tuesday. And I've heard the coolest freaking stories. Let me tell you, there is somebody who said that acupuncture, she was having so much trouble conceiving, that her and her husband had tried everything. In fact, her doctors told her that she needed to remove her. She had to go get a full hysterectomy. She had all of these issues. It's not possible for you to conceive. One acupuncture session and conception. And now they've had multiple children. Is that not wild? So wild. These stories that I have heard from people are just saying, some people are like, oh, it's like getting a massage. I just love going to get it. Other people have compared it to their experience that they've had with something like Reiki. And it's just been really fun hearing all these things. It feels like acupuncture is one of those things. It feels like the experience that people have are so varied. I haven't personally heard any negative experiences about it. And by the way, this episode today is about breathwork. However, and it's not an official Thursday thread. If anybody's been listening to this podcast for a while, on Thursdays, we usually do something called a Thursday thread. We're not necessarily doing that during these Untethered Practices episodes. However, I did want to thread out just a couple of these things that I have heard from people about acupuncture specifically, because it's just so fascinating to hear the variety of experiences. I put up a poll on Instagram, and most people who responded to the poll had tried it. However, there were a lot of people who said, I'm genuinely curious about it. So for anyone who is genuinely curious about it, I say to you, try it. Try it. Why not? Why not give it a shot? Find somebody in your area who does it. Look up the reviews. You can Yelp it. Look up the reviews and go give it a try. See what you think. And if not, go do something that is going to support you. Maybe that is getting a massage. I have a sister. She lives in Wichita, Kansas, who is an amazing. If you live in Wichita, you need to call up Janelle Holiday. I'm going to call out my sister. At Beaumont Spa on the east side of Wichita. She's amazing. She's amazing. So anybody in Wichita, Kansas, you want to fly to Wichita, Kansas, go get the most amazing massage of your life, go see my sister. It's really just about helping us to do self-care, like lovely, actually self-love practices. All of these things are things that care for ourselves, whether it's tarot and doing reflection, whether it's going and getting Reiki or something like acupuncture, whether it's journaling, which is something that we have, and meditation, which we have yet to talk about, or whether it's breath work, which we are going to talk about today. All of these things are ways to spend time and energy and love and gratitude and just honoring ourselves. Exploring ourselves in some way, being intimate with ourselves in a way that perhaps we haven't tried before. And whenever we do that, you think of an artist who is working on their art, sometimes, or a writer, you have to step away. You have to get a new perspective. You have to walk to the other side of the room and look at it. You have to come at it from a different way. You have to go for a run and then come back to it and see it differently. And that's exactly what some of these practices can help us do. It allows us a shift in perspective. It allows us an opportunity to look at things differently. looking at ourselves differently, looking at our human experience on this spinning rock that is screaming through the universe, to look at it differently, a little bit differently. And I'm like beyond jazzed to talk to you about breath work. If you've listened to every episode of this podcast, there's been a couple of breathwork facilitators who have come on. One of them was when I was just mostly breathwork curious because it kept showing up in my life. And I was like, what's going on here? And then another one was when I was well into the journey of myself becoming a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. So I would love to share a story with you about the first time that I really met myself during breathwork. So I had done breathwork multiple times before. I knew some people who did it. I kept coming into my view. There's just opportunities that just kept coming up to do it. And I would do it and it would be great. It was it's so relaxing. It's like, okay, but I didn't really fully feel like I experienced something from it until I was in a course and she invited somebody that she knows to come in and teach breathwork to her students in the course. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. We're getting like a bonus today where this breathwork facilitator is going to come in. And so I'm sitting at my computer here in the chair, just ready for my class like it usually is. Got my notebook. I'm all ready to go and, have my camera on, as does everyone else. And we go into this breathwork journey. The facilitator takes us through the journey. And at the end of this session, I was feeling some things for sure during the session. We come to the close of the session and she has us put our hands on our heart and tell ourselves, thank you. And tell ourselves, I love you. And I lost my shit. I lost my marbles. Everything just like unraveled. I felt like everything in me unraveled. I started instantly sobbing. Ugly cry, sobbing. And I'm sitting here, camera on with all of these other people. And I just reached up and personally turned my camera off and was like, I'm just like, what the F is happening? I just like completely lost it. And eventually, the class like moves on. They're all like moving on. And I'm still just in this moment, like, what is happening? It feels like everything just suddenly shifted. The earth just moved beneath my feet. That this moment for me, I will always look back and be like, everything changed right here in that moment. I had this emotional release that I can't even explain. And it was because of multiple things that happened within me during that session. However, a lot of it, the main thing and the thing that I personally think, and in my facilitation, I'm so passionate about, is helping people to meet themselves, to meet the person who you are in this moment, in this exact moment, just meeting that person without judgment and just being okay with it. Just being okay with you, just saying, hey, thank you for showing up. I love you. And that the ability and the deep level, I'll explain a little bit about why breathwork can be so good for this. But the depth of that experience for me is so transformative. It's so transformative when you can truly meet yourself and be okay in this moment with exactly who you are, where you're at, and just accept it. That acceptance, it's so powerful for somebody who is an achiever, for somebody who is a perfectionist, for somebody who is a people pleaser, who is always looking for the next thing, for the more, we know that we're here and we have this huge mission and this huge calling and all of this magic inside of us. And it's like, it just feels like there's so much that we're capable of, and it's true. And yet, with breath work, I invite myself into the moment to say, you're exactly right here, right now, in this moment where you are meant to be. It's perfect. This moment right here that you're experiencing is so perfect. Feel the perfection of everything that you are. That is the power of breath work. And that was when I was like, holy baloney, holy nuggets, holy bananas, holy cornucopia of all things amazing. This is for me. So I did breath work with this particular facilitator a whole bunch more times because I was like, something is here for me in this experience, in the way that she teaches it. There is something that is fully here for me. And so that led me along the journey of eventually finding out that she teaches facilitators to facilitate breath work in this way that she teaches it. So that is my experience with breath work and how I came to be so incredibly passionate about it and why it's something that you're going to be hearing more and more about on this podcast because it's something I facilitate. However, again, with this Untethered Practices series, I'm passionate about us just finding the thing that for you is the thing. What's the thing that will unravel you in the way that breathwork in that moment unraveled me? And I'm talking about unraveling in the way that this podcast is intended, removing all of those external outside forces that are stopping us from fully being intimate and close and loving and compassionate with ourselves, because that is what truly moves you forward toward the things that you really are called to do in this world, toward offering your glittery, magical unicorn gifts out into the world. So a little bit about breathwork. Breathwork, it's old, is an old modality. It has been around for thousands of years. Your breath, every human being on this planet, it is the first thing that invites you here into the world. You take your first breath and it is here with you, that breath, until your dying moment. It is the last thing. When you are born, you breathe in, and when you die, you breathe out. And we are moving through that cycle of breathe in, breathe out all day, every day. But how often do you think about it? How often do you intentionally breathe? That realization alone is huge. And we do hear all the time. I mean, it's like, oh, breathe, just take a couple of deep breaths. Which can be really fucking annoying in the moment when you're like, do not tell me to just breathe, right? Like, ain't nobody gonna tell me to just breathe. I'm having a bad day, having a shitty time, and I don't want you to tell me to just breathe. However, getting intentional with our breath, it calms our nervous system. It physically calms our nervous system. So your nervous system, you have this beautiful thing that runs from the base of your skull all the way down your torso to, if you're a chakra person, your root chakra, your tailbone runs all the way down. This is called your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve is what controls your parasympathetic and your sympathetic nervous system. I'm not going to get too sciencey here with you. I could super nerd out with you, but your sympathetic nervous system is your fight or flight. When your sympathetic nervous system is activated, you are like, there is a freaking tiger and I've got to hide. And that gets activated all day, every day because of the society that we live in. And because we're human and we are literally geared to, be scared of threats. So the sympathetic keeps us safe. It keeps us warm. It keeps us comfortable. It keeps us in our safety zone. The parasympathetic is our rest and relax. So when that is activated, we're nice and calm. We're relaxed. Everything in our body is like in a state of being able to function in the way that it is supposed to. When you go into the sympathetic, when that is activated, there are parts of your body that are shut down because you need to be like ready to run. So it activates certain things. It turns off other things. So we need to have our parasympathetic activated more. Breath work can help you to do either. Depending on the breath that you do, you can intentionally activate your sympathetic. You can intentionally activate your parasympathetic. And it's really important to do breath work with a trained facilitator who knows what they're doing so that they're intentionally supporting you in activating one or both along a journey. And that's what I do in breath work, is to help people invite in safety, feel nice and grounded. We'll take them through a breath pattern. Sometimes it's intentionally to activate both or. So from a science standpoint, there's a ton of science behind how breath work can support you. There's a lot of science behind how it can help you to relax, how it can help digestion, how it can help all of these wonderful things in your body. What I love so much about breath work, and specifically for those of us who are the achievers, the perfectionists, it gets us out of our head and focusing on something else. It can be meditative. So meditation can be challenging for some people who have trouble turning off their brain. When you're focused on the breath, you turn off the thoughts because you can't think about anything else other than all you can think about, because you're so focused on breathing in the way that you're being guided. You automatically go into this meditative state. You let go, you untether. And then working with the trained facilitator, they bring you, what I do at the end of a session is bring your awareness fully into your body, where you can see things, where you can feel things, where you can notice things, you can sense the textures, the feels in your body, sometimes for the very first time. If you've been living outside your body for a long time, breath work is such a powerful tool for meeting yourself in the moment for the first time, and not even just meeting it, but feeling it. That could sound scary, and that's okay. It sounded scary, and it felt a little scary to me too, but it was transformative. So incredibly transformative, meeting yourself like that and really just resting with yourself, taking the time. It's like taking a warm bath inside of your own body, just allowing your awareness to rest there in you and just be like, hi, hello. Wow, I see and I feel what is here. And I see the divinity that is inside of me. I feel the love of my heart. One of my favorite things to do is invite that love of your heart that just cares so much for the world to turn it around into yourself and just bask in a little bit of like true open heart love with yourself. The breath allows you to do this. And there's a couple of reasons for that. As you're breathing, you are creating awareness, the breath of the breath itself. And then that awareness of the breath itself, you're more conscious of the breath. You're more conscious of the feelings. The breath itself is moving in and out of your body, and it's actually shifting energy. So as breath moves into your body, as breath moves out of your body, there's energy. There's an energetic flow that is happening through your body. And then there's chemicals, like your body chemicals are reacting to that energetic flow that is happening through your bodies. Muscles relax. Things start to shift. And then you have sensations. So your awareness is moving into your body with every inhale, and you're feeling like you've never felt before. It's so good. It's so good. There's going to be many more episodes of this podcast about breath work, and it, for me, and perhaps for people like me, it's not for everybody. It might not be your modality, but for me, it is the thing that helps me to untether in the best way. Now, you would never want to untether and stay untethered. And you do this fully grounded 100% in safety, knowing you're being safely held and supported by a facilitator, that you're safe and supported by the ground, by yourself, by your awareness, by your beingness. That safety is so necessary, because you don't want to be floating out into outer space and not returning back to the here and now, to the present in your body. And spiritual bypassing, we could talk about all those things that can happen with something like breath work. It's not the intention. The intention is to allow yourself to meet yourself in the actual present, in the way that meditation does as well. So I sure would freaking love to guide you through a breathwork experience. I'm going to have a lot more group breathwork opening up. I'm 2 weeks from the posting of this episode. I will officially have my full certification as a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. All of my free sessions that I've been opening on social media, that I've been putting out there through my email list, are totally full. So I'm full for now. However, there will be opportunities to breathe with me. So if you're interested, send me an email, send me a DM. I will get you added to my email list so that you're aware of the sessions that I'm going to be offering coming up. We're going to do some themed sessions. There's going to be lots of breathwork offerings coming in the future. It feels to me like I offered this to a friend. It's like I found this old shoe that's so comfy that I didn't know I was looking for. That's me with breathwork. And I hope the same for you in the future, that you find your old shoe that you're just like, oh my gosh, here it is. Here's that thing. Here's that thing I've been looking for. I didn't know I was looking for it. And it's so perfect. So I hope you enjoyed this little intro on breathwork and that it got you curious. If you haven't tried it, if you have tried it and you loved it, reach out to me. I'm at Untethered Jen on Instagram. You can send me an email, hello@jenlist.com. Again, if you're interested in breathwork, if you want to try a session, you want to get on my email list so that you hear about sessions that are being offered, please reach out. Let me know. I also want to let you know I'm offering my program that is going to be opening up in May. It's called Made for More. And that's going to be opening up in May. So if you're interested in possibly coaching with me, and we do some breath work in my coaching as well, I help you meet yourself in all kinds of beautiful ways. So if you feel like you are made for more and this might be for you, you can fill out a form. And I'm going to include that here in the show notes so that you can fill out that form. If it's something you're interested in, I'll be talking a little bit more about it in the coming weeks so that you can hear a bit more about it. And you just keep shining your magical unicorn light out there for all to see. I'll see you next time. Bye.